I say, it's a pleasure to be invited, so thank you to Vera for arranging for us to come along. Hopefully we won't let her down too much. I'm going to just spend a couple of minutes talking to you, just to give you a bit of background, and then Jo's going to do a little bit of a demo, which I'm going to talk through and explain what she's doing. And then I'm going to do another demo, and then we'll open for questions at the end if any of you have got any questions, or if any of you want to have a go. We do have plenty of time for volunteers. Some of the stuff we're going to be doing is from the Chinese pole syllabus. I don't know if you've heard of Chinese pole, but it dates back centuries. We're also going to do some stuff off the Malagan syllabus, which is a 12th century pole sport. So a lot of people assume that pole dancing is something to do with the seedy strip clubs. I can assure you that what we're doing today is very, very far removed. It's a great way to keep fit. You'll probably see there's quite a lot of strength and flexibility involved. Anyway, I will talk some more later, but before you get too bored, I'm going to introduce Jo. She's going to come in and do some stuff, and I'm going to explain what she's doing and what it's all about. Jo's just starting with a nice, simple fireman spin. It's something we usually teach. It's on the intermediate part of the syllabus. It's a nice way of moving around the pole, getting used to it. She's now doing something called a chair spin. So what we're doing is showing you something a little bit more advanced now. She's lifting her entire body weight, which is all very impressive. You do need good grip on the pole.
Ladies, I had an operation 4 weeks ago. If you see this, it's my surgical underwear, so don't
yeah. It's really, really important to get a good grip on the pole. If you have any sweat on your hands, you're going to descend very quickly, which is why I'm going to be wearing gloves for my performance in a second. One of the things that works really well with pole dancing, you can see Jo's working through the balls of her feet. Now, obviously, traditionally, the concept of pole dancers is that they wear heels. When we're teaching our classes, we don't wear heels, but we do say to women, if they imagine they've got 8 or 9 inch heels on, they're suddenly going to start using their legs in a much more dynamic fashion, so they're getting more toning through the legs, much better for overall fitness, and also quite good for posture, because you start to think about bringing the hips forward, being nice and long through the spine, which is good for your core strength, and good overall, makes you walk nice and tall. Hopefully we won't be too hunched later in life. Lovely. Beautiful corkscrew spin. That's quite a hard spin. What you'll notice, Jo had the pole under her arm. Pole dancers get a lot of bruises. When you're working with that pole, you're arguing with metal, and if something's going to win, it's going to be the pole, not the dancer. It's another corkscrew spin. If we do get any volunteers up later, we won't be asking you to do any of this. So don't worry. I've been dancing for 5 years, Jo's been dancing for 4 years, and obviously it's something that takes a lot of skill and practice. A lot of this stuff you can't do straight away. Although you may prove us wrong. You may get up later and do some amazing somersaults off the pole, and I'll go home with my tail between my legs. It's okay, I'm just going to hold the stage. Lovely. It's a reverse grab spin. So again, when you're starting spins one-handed, there's an awful lot of strength involved. And you have to build the muscles up. If you go into one-handed things straight away, all you're going to do is damage the tendons on your elbows and end up with long-term injuries, which we don't want. We certainly don't want our students coming back and suing us. So we do have to build the muscles up before we can attempt these more advanced things. Okay, going into a headstand now. Nice and controlled. Also working flexibility. You have to start to look at the flexibility on the back for some of these moves. Locking with the foot, we get a lot of bruising on the top of our feet. So if you see young ladies in the summer with sandals on, walking around with big bruises on their feet, they've probably been to one of our classes. We call this a beginner's handstand. So even if people can't do handstands, they can do the first part, not this part, but they can do the first part and start getting used to taking weight through the forearms. Forearms are quite delicate little pieces of kit, so they do take a while to build up to feel comfortable doing things like the handstand. And also strengthening through the lumbar to make sure that you don't do any damage to your lower back. There's all sorts of risks of injury, but we minimise those as much as possible. Again, flexibility, strength, some of these moves as well. We've started working with some of the youth groups, especially with Carolyn District Council, which I believe is now one Cornwall actually. It's a good way of getting young people back into fitness. They don't necessarily want to do the more traditional activities. Unfortunately, things like hockey and netball aren't promoted as much in school, and there's much less for kids to do. So with something like pole dancing, there is a little bit of a stigma attached, which means the kids are more likely to want to do it. And obviously once they get in, kids being kids, they actually realise that they're working really hard. So we've had a lot of success rate with the youth groups. Beautiful scissor kick there. Working from a backside position. Trust me, that's hard. That's working right through the triceps. It's not easy at all.
I've been a month off the pole as well. They're still there.
Yeah. It does really, really boost your strength, and it's quite nice sort of being a small female sometimes, being able to lift nice big heavy things that perhaps your male counterparts can't lift. Big round of applause for Jess. I'm just quickly going to nip behind this curtain. To strip, that sounds dreadful, doesn't it? I said, oh, there's no striptease. I am going to wear quite a small outfit because I'm going to need as much skin contact as possible, otherwise I'm going to be landing on my face at speed. I'll try not to get any you've been framed movements for you. I will try and stick to the pole. I should be back in 2 seconds.
Okay, ladies, now what Sam's going to be demonstrating are the far more advanced moves. None of the moves I performed there were anything other than very low intermediate standard. Our syllabus ranges from beginners, improvers, intermediate, advanced, and world-class standard. And we judge it by the whole pole dance community over the world, by going online, attending competitions. Sam's ranked 4th in the UK currently. So we'll see how she does in 2009, but she is threatening to retire. Now, obviously, because of my little sort of meeting with the surgeon a few weeks ago, I'm unable to grip the pole with my legs, so I'm unable to do the acrobatic stuff that Sam's going to show you. What you have to bear in mind is that although we look like we're just hopping on a pole and we're spinning round or we're going to climb it, etc., pole dancing is extremely technical. A lot of our students after their first lessons say, I had absolutely no idea how hard it is or how technical it is. Every single thing we do on the pole, how we approach it, where we put our hands, where we position our shoulders, hips, feet, everything has a purpose. There are two main purposes really. The first one is